So, have you ever been in a virtual reality relationship? If so, did it work out for you? Is it the same as a regular IRL relationship? Do you think you feel the same sort of connection that you would feel with someone in IRL, or would it always fall short and always be missing something? Would you take it as seriously as you would an IRL relationship, or would it always just be part of a game? Hi, I'm Kinetic, and today we're exploring virtual reality relationships. What do you think about them? What kind of experiences have you had? And do you think they could work long term? So let's just go ahead and jump into a few interviews and hear what a few VR users had to say.
So I'm in a relationship right now. We're actually engaged, but we met on VR chat. So we knew each other for at least a couple of years on here. We were just hanging out, chilling out, being whatever. But then things started to click and we started to get to know each other more. And then we switched to Discord. We'd play games. And then since then, we'd always get on VR chat. So it's just really nice. I never expected to meet him on here. And so, yeah.
I've been in a couple. Right now, I'm actually currently in one
fast.
with my boyfriend. We actually call on the phone every day, though, so we have that to see each other.
I can be the
At least until one of us can make it over to the other.
It lets you learn the person, and you learn them by their personality, not by their looks. If you care about their avatar look, then that's not true. Then you have to shoot them more. That's why I like high-end VR dating, because it lets you know how the person is by their personality and how they act towards people and how they act towards you. It gives you a good idea of dating.
Yeah, me too, bro.
And that's how I see it.
So virtual reality relationships, I don't think are too much different from normal relationships. Everything starts from some point. It just depends on if somebody's taking the relationship serious or not. I don't think I would take anything directly online serious right away with anyone. But again, it's no different than meeting somebody at work or at a grocery store or on a video game like PlayStation or anything like that. So it's basically interpersonal relationships between people, because behind those virtual people are real people.
We're not engaged, but we're going to be. She's gonna be my fiance. But we met on we met on VR like 3 or more years ago, and it was very wholesome. Like, we started talking like for like 8 months. Seems pretty long, but it was really fun. And then we started playing games, like I said. We started playing games, getting closer and closer, and then we decided, hey, one day we should just, meet up. And then I decided one day I should just, drive across the country, met her and stuff, and it was pretty fun. And then we did a 3-round trip, actually, across the country. We did so much. It was fun. All I can say, we live together now. We got our place. We got it. Like, I think we got our place like 2 months ago. This is probably the best thing that's ever come to me, to be honest.
It's funny to think about relationships. The point at which a relationship starts typically is a very different circumstance from which it strengthens. For instance, who here can relate to a situation where you went out on a first date with someone, but then after the date you talked to each other on the phone every night for 2 weeks straight before actually seeing each other again? And it was those phone calls where the relationship really started to strengthen. Those phone calls where you really started to get to know each other. I mean, the date's over. It's been over for weeks, but so often it's the phone calls after the date where you can really start to get an idea of if it's worth moving on to the next step. That time when you're calling each other and you're texting each other, effectively, you're bonding virtually, which in many ways is really not so different from what we do in VR. So maybe VR is somewhat similar to that. Yeah, you didn't actually sit across from each other in a restaurant, but you did take those next steps, that being virtual conversations, but not on the phone. Instead, it was in VR. And if you can bond with someone over the phone after the first IRL date, then I see no reason why bonding with someone in VR is any less legitimate. So, as to the question of if a relationship can start in VR and even grow in VR, I believe yes, definitely. But can it stay there? Can it remain a long distance relationship with nothing but virtual interaction? And there's where I have to say, probably not. Not indefinitely, especially if those people have other options IRL. You see, I think that if you're going to have a VR relationship, then having an end goal of it turning IRL is going to have to be part of that plan. Maybe not right away, but eventually. Many of the VR users that I interviewed talked about how they wanted to eventually meet up in IRL or plan to meet up in IRL, and in one of the cases, they even moved in with each other IRL. So, yeah, almost all of them brought up the topic of an eventual IRL meetup, and that was never even part of my question. You see, I think that personal relationships don't have achievable endpoints, which means at no point is it complete. They only have movement. Either you're moving forward or you're moving backward. There's no achievable end. We're not designed that way. And if you're in a virtual relationship, then the prospect of an IRL interaction is always going to be on your horizon. And if you have no intention of achieving that horizon, then the day that you realize that there's something big on your horizon that you will never achieve is the day that you'll perceive yourself moving backwards. And then at that point, it's likely over. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can have a long term, long distance VR relationship, fully understanding that you'll never meet IRL. And if that's true, then that opens up a whole new topic, which I may try and cover in a future video, and that would be how do you know they're real? If they're just a voice and an avatar, and that's all they'll ever be, then how do you know they are who they say they are? Or to take it to another level even higher, how do you know they're even human? I mean, let's face it, AI is getting better and better all the time. If we're not there already, then we'll soon be to the point where an AI bot can slide its way through VR chat, interacting with people, and no one would even know it. But the other question is, would people even care? In fact, some people might even prefer it. Hey, Kinetic, do you want an AI girlfriend? I don't know, maybe. I mean, if someone said that I could have a VR relationship with someone that I would never meet IRL, I would say no. I don't think so. I'd rather have a relationship with someone that I can eventually meet in IRL. But if someone offered an AI girlfriend that I could interact with on multiple platforms, such as VR and texting during the day and even long phone calls at night, I might say, okay, I'm listening. Strange that I would feel that way. Maybe because I'd feel less obligated to an AI as opposed to a VR or an IRL. I don't know. What do you think? Drop a comment below. Anyways, thanks for joining me. I am Kinetic, and I will see you next time.